Okay, first thing to note is that when you do apply a filter, which is really helpful for sorting data, um, the downside is that it doesn't, I mean, down or upside, depending on how you look at it, is it doesn't actually change the, so we can see there better, it doesn't actually change the data set itself. So if you would pull it into JASP, you're still going to have everything, even if you removed stuff with a filter. I'm just going to freeze the top row here. Okay. And I'm going to call this age. So the first thing you wanted to do is get rid of everything except 2017 and 18. So I think an easy way to do that is sort just make sure this is, yep, that's working. So I guess that means you didn't want the 2019. So I'm going to just hold down Shift here, click, and then delete those. So I'm actually deleting them. I do believe you could do it by maybe you select everything but 2017, 18, click here, go all, I mean, you could use that, I guess, to make your deleting process easier. Hold down Shift, right click, and then delete those. And then if we show these again, so basically we've deleted everything off except 2017 and 2018. That's certainly one way to do it, and that even if we pull in JASP now, the other cells are completely gone. The other thing with the if statements, for example, prior risk, you want to be 0 and 1. You want the numbers for the regression. So instead of an if statement, if you didn't want to use that, you could sort these. We could put zeros here for, what I'm doing is I'm cutting to the clipboard here, Control-C or Command-C on a Mac, clicking in the next cell, and I'm going to go to the end of where all the no's are, which is right there. Hold down Shift and click again, and then I'm just going to copy there. That didn't work. I'm going to, okay. Let me try that one more time. So I'm cutting to clipboard here, and I'm going to go to where the end of the prior risks assessment are. Okay, so down here I'm holding down Shift. I'm just going to do a Control-V. That's going to be a little easier. Now these next ones, it said unknown in terms of their prior risk assessment. So technically what we have to do is take them out of the data set. Now there are ways of guessing what their risk assessment, if you can guess for sure based on these other variables, that would be a good idea. If you can't guess for sure, then for now I'm going to suggest that you just take them out entirely. What we could do is use a second regression to predict whether or not they were at risk. But that does get a little bit complicated. Okay, so I'm holding down Shift, Control-V or Command-V on a Mac, and then also notice that these don't have any risk assessment down here either, so I'm going to delete them. To run a regression, logistic or linear, you need to have data on every single variable. So that was kind of a way to get around that. Now, notice one thing here. These A through L are part of the filter, M is not. One mistake I've made in the past is I've sorted variables like this and did not include this as part of the filter, and that does not work out well. So I'm going to take off that filter, and if we did want to use another filter here again, I would include M in the filter. And we could do a similar thing there for these. This has several different categories. So either you need to group them into a small handful. You had mentioned 5. That would certainly work, and then you would have four dummy variables, and I'd be glad to do that for you or with you if you told me which categories you wanted set up. If you put all of them in, because you have a large data set, it is possible, but it does make the analysis at the end just a little trickier. Nothing impossible. That's something we could certainly, that's much easier than the multiple imputation to guess at the missing data. But the next thing I want to do is go ahead and pull this into JASP. So I'm going to save this file as a CSV file. We'll just call it, I think I have another one from you in there, save. Yes, I do want to use CSV, close. And then I'm going to go to JASP, going to open, there's my Joanie 2. And this should open it okay. Let's take a look. Yes, and notice the event date there, 2018. They're all 2017-18 because anything we deleted instead of just filtering is gone. We also have that this variable we do need to give a name to, and I forget how to do that. The more you can get done in Excel before you pull it in, the better. Maybe up here? Yeah, the other thing you can do is you can make the changes in Excel. If we edit the data like this and then give it the name here, so risk equals 1, save it again, and go through this double save process. Okay, now I believe if we open up the JASP, there, now the name actually changed because it's linked. This is really just a superficial face mask, if you want, to the data itself. So anything we make change on the data will change this then. And I don't see any problems with this here. If there's other problems you're seeing, be sure to let me know.